Please note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share. Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream with me, Gisela K. This is Grizzly True Crime and this would be our third stream or third activity on Grizzly True Crime for the day. We had one premiere, one live stream, and this will be our third one. So thank you so much if you are here with us again. Have you been there for all three? I don't know, but welcome. Thank you so much to all the Australian Grizzlies. I didn't actually know how many Australian Grizzlies we have, but we have so many because you guys all emailed me asking me if I could maybe update the case. And of course I can. Let me just get the chat going here for us. True Crime Junkie the OG says, so happy to be here with G and the best chat and mods. Thank you so much and happy Grizzlyversary. So to the hundreds of Australian Grizzlies, you blew up my inbox. Here I am. Let's talk about the update, right? If you missed my YouTube short or my community post, check that out as well if you would like to. There's also, we've done a deep dive on this case before. I'm going to show you little snippets from that just to get us all on the same page before we see the latest update from the police themselves. This case takes us all the way to Australia. I think you get that by now, right? We're going to Leongatha, Victoria, Australia. And this is a mushroom poisoning case. So oh my goodness, we're busy going, we're watching the trial together, the Jesse Kershevsky one. That's an eye drop poisoning one. This one, we've been waiting for an update for over 3 months now. And finally, the main red flag in the room. The one that the behavior panel, yes, picked apart too in her interviews. Oh yes, she's been arrested, okay? So, if you missed the Caitlin Armstrong arrest affidavit read through and the opening statements where I boosted the audio for you as much as possible because oh my word, the audio has been so crap from the court. Then go check that out. If you missed day 7 of the trial from the one I just mentioned, go check that out. But now let's have a look at this. So this takes us to Leongatha, Victoria, population 5,876 in 2022. This is actually double G time. You got my previous stream here because I just quickly wanted to show you just a few things from our presentation then. If you don't know about this case yet and you want to do this deep dive, I would highly recommend it. This I will link for you in the description box afterwards, okay? It's a whole stream that we had for 1 hour, 15 minutes on this case. So Erin Patterson, this is the person who's just been arrested. Also, before I dive into this, because I can see I'm already like, whoosh, welcome to my mods, to all my patrons. Thank you so much to everyone who's made it over to Patreon. Excellent source of support. Welcome to all my members, all the subscribers, and everyone that's going to subscribe today. If you're a lurker and just if you want to say hi to us. We're very friendly. We'd love to welcome you in the chat. Now, Erin Patterson, 48, said, I've been painted as an evil witch, and the media is making it impossible for me to live in this town. I can't have friends over. The media's at the house where my children are at. The media are at my sister's house, so I can't go there. This is unfair. Arrested for murder now. And 3 counts of murder and 5 counts of attempted murder, not related to this lunch, you guys. The other attempted murder charges are for other instances because now her, I think they separated, not officially divorced, but her ex-husband, yeah, he said she's poisoned him many times. That's allegedly who they're referring to. Whoa, so that's quite something, isn't it? So this is the person who's arrested. I'm going to show you little clips again as well. On Saturday, July 29th of 2023, 48-year-old Erin Patterson, a stay-at-home mother of 2, invited her ex-husband, they were separated, and former in-laws over for lunch. Why? They said this was intended to be a church-mediated lunch to sort out the children's visitation rights with her estranged husband and his family. She was making a special beef Wellington meal for them. Beef Wellington is made with high-quality beef, of course, often eye fillet coated in chopped button and wild mushrooms. And she just so happened to be a mushroom forager. And they believe there were death cap mushrooms put in the beef Wellington, which they said just even a a quarter of a death cap mushroom is enough to be fatal, which that's pretty scary to think about. Girl Friday, welcome. So, just wanted to go on here quickly. So yes, we had a look at what beef Wellington is. If you don't know, you can Google it, or you can go and watch this stream. We went over exactly what it is, and it takes long to prepare. So she pretended like, she's going to put so much love into this and make this beef Wellington for them. Erin is apparently an experienced wild mushroom forager. She reportedly told investigators that she bought dried mushrooms at an Asian grocery store months earlier, but then in April of 2023, local health authorities in Victoria had actually released a warning about death cap mushrooms, which are extremely poisonous mushrooms, which we could speculate is where she got the idea from. Mrs. Melissa, thank you so much, you say, for all the extras today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Okay, and so, hello to Down Under Veggie Garden Diaries. Death caps are not native to Australia and are usually only found in Victoria and the Australian Capital Territory. Okay, so I just want to show you here who was invited to the lunch. So who was invited to the lunch? Simon Patterson, her ex-husband. He had a last-minute change of plan. So he wasn't actually at the lunch, but he was invited. And he has apparently been poisoned multiple times, which is where these other attempted murder charges now come from, which is interesting that they also added those. Then Don, 70, and Gail Patterson, which is her ex-father and mother-in-law. And then Gail's sister, Heather Wilkinson, 66, and Reverend Ian Wilkinson, 68. So Gail's sister and her husband. The only survivor, okay, so the husband wasn't there. Out of the 4 people you see next to the husband is Ian Wilkinson. Can you imagine what he's going through? Oh my goodness. He spent months in the hospital recovering. He actually made it through. I think he needed a liver transplant. The other 3, unfortunately, died. About a week after this meal, they suffered greatly, and then died, which is terrible. So now the rest of these details, I would highly recommend you see. We did a lot of presentation time here. We looked at what death cap mushrooms are, what happens if you eat a death cap mushroom, all sorts of things, and also that the red flag, you could see the red flag there, was that Erin actually threw out a dehydrator. They found it at a landfill, and they found that very, very strange. I just want to see if there's something on my last slide here. Yes, key points in the police's statement. Basically, she was the biggest red flag in the room and has now been arrested. So you could see we really did a deep dive here, huh? We really did. Oh yeah, I was just reading you the statement there. So now we're going to do an update. So let me get that quickly for you, which is going to be the press conference. This is the latest from the police. Archer Girl says, shout out to all the Grizzlies around the world. No better place to be than right here. Grizzlies for life. Thank you so much, Archer Girl 85. So let's listen to what the police have said here.
I'm here to provide an update in relation to the homicide investigation in relation to the deaths of 3 people following an incident in Leongatha that occurred earlier this year. This morning, detectives arrested a 49-year-old female in relation to this incident, and a search warrant was subsequently executed at her residential address. This search is currently ongoing, and we are being assisted by the AFP's technology detector dogs. Once the search of the premises is complete today, the female will be interviewed by Homicide Squad investigators. We will provide updates as the day progresses. Over the last 3 months, this investigation has been subject to incredibly intense levels of public scrutiny and curiosity. I cannot think of another investigation that has generated this level of media and public interest, not only here in Victoria, but also nationally and internationally. I think it's particularly important that we keep in mind that at the heart of this, 3 people have lost their lives. These are 3 people who, by all accounts, were much beloved in their communities and are greatly missed by their loved ones. These deaths also continue to have a significant impact on the media, on the immediate families of those involved, and I ask that people are particularly mindful of this over the coming days. Today's arrest
You guys want a bit of a boost? Yes, indeed, we can.
is just the next step
Wait.
in what has been a complex and
Let's just make it boost a little bit. I'll go back a little bit.
but also nationally and internationally. I think it's particularly important that we keep in mind that at the heart of this, 3 people have lost their lives. These are 3 people who, by all accounts, were much beloved in their communities and are greatly missed by their loved ones. These deaths also continue to have a significant impact on the media, on the immediate families of those involved, and I ask that people are particularly mindful of this over the coming days. Today's arrest is just the next step in what has been a complex and thorough investigation by Homicide Squad detectives, and one that is not yet over. While we do want to provide timely updates about this matter, it is critical that doing this does not adversely impact the current investigation or any future processes. I encourage people to be particularly mindful of unnecessary speculation and the sharing of misinformation. While police are doing everything we can to ensure this investigation is not impacted by this, again I stress at the heart of these matters are the recent deaths of 3 people and families and loved ones who are trying to come to terms with this.
Okay, so I like the way that he speaks. He's like, okay, no unnecessary speculation. So now let me get another clip here for you quickly. We've got a few things to power through here. Here we go.
Murder after the deaths of 3 people by a suspected Australian woman has been charged with murder after the deaths of 3 people by suspected mushroom poisoning. Erin Patterson's alleged victims died after eating a family lunch she'd served them at her home, a dish thought to have contained death-cap mushrooms, as Richard Galpin now reports.
Police have been searching Erin Patterson's home in the small town of Leongatha, southeast of Melbourne, from early today. The arrest and charges of the 49-year-old come more than 3 months after the suspected poisoning took place at a lunch. She'd invited her ex-in-laws Gail and Don Patterson and Gail's sister Heather Wilkinson and her husband Ian Wilkinson to her home. Within days, 3 of them were dead. Only Ian Wilkinson survived. Toxicology reports suggest the victims had consumed death-cap mushrooms. In a written statement to police, Erin Patterson said she had bought button mushrooms at a supermarket and dried fungi at an Asian grocery store and used them in a beef Wellington dish.
Oh man, but meanwhile she chucked her own dehydrator out, which was very suspicious.
Today's arrest is just the next step in what has been a complex.
Okay, we've seen that. All right, and let's see if we've got one more. Yeah, sorry dude, sorry about that. Okay, here we go.
Major development tonight in the mushroom poisoning mystery in Victoria, with Homicide Squad detectives charging a woman with 3 counts of murder. Erin Patterson, who allegedly made the lunch, was arrested in a dramatic early morning raid at her home. Tonight she remains in custody. Reporter Neri Tai has the latest.
After being quizzed by homicide detectives, Erin Patterson has been charged with 3 counts of murder and 5 counts of attempted murder. The murder charges and 2 attempted murder charges relate to an incident on July 29 where 4 people were taken to hospital after they fell ill following a meal at Erin Patterson's home in Leongatha. Police say the further 3 attempted murder charges relate to 3 separate incidents in Victoria between 2021 and 2022.
Can you believe it? Attempted murder charges too, and they've got the timeline down as well. Oh wow. Objection Cake says, what did she eat that day? She says she ate with them, but I don't believe her. Her children were also there, and they ate a different meal. So I don't know what she ate, or if she put the mushrooms on one side of it, or who knows there. But wow, I'm just amazed that it's murder charges and attempted murder charges. Good job on law enforcement.
It's alleged a 48-year-old Korumburra man became ill following meals on these dates. It's a huge development in a case that's been running for months and has captured worldwide attention. The mother of two was brought in by police this afternoon after detectives swooped on her Gippsland home early this morning. Victoria Police executed a search warrant at the mother of two's property, the same spot where 4 people became critically unwell and 3 of them later died after eating poisonous mushrooms believed to be death cap mushrooms served in a beef Wellington dish allegedly prepared by Erin Patterson. Miss Patterson's parents-in-law Don and Gail Patterson died. So too did Gail's sister Heather Wilkinson. A 4th lunch guest, Heather Wilkinson's husband, Pastor Ian Wilkinson, spent almost 2 months in hospital but miraculously survived and was recently sent home. Bags of evidence have been taken from Erin Patterson's property. Victoria Police also assisted by technology detection dogs with the Australian Federal Police. The 49-year-old mother has been remanded in custody to face the Morwell Magistrates Court tomorrow.
Yes. Okay, so that's that update. If you want all the details about who was there and how old are the kids and this, where did they live, and even some map time and all that, you got to check out the previous live stream we did. It's a much deeper dive. Today I'm actually just offering you the update. So I hope that you are enjoying that. So then there's still, I want to show you this quickly. This little article here. We'll read through this so that we really get all the updates in one place. And then we might even just one more time look at look at her previous interview where the suspect speaks to the media and is putting on all those crocodile tears, you know? So there she is. She's the one who's been arrested. A woman in Australia who cooked a meal using mushrooms, suspected of killing 3 people, was arrested on Thursday and charged with murder, authorities said. Erin Patterson, 49, has maintained that the deaths after the beef Wellington lunch at her home in Leongatha in the state of Victoria were a tragic accident. Okay, but what about all the other times you tried to kill your husband? Because those are the other charges, right? So this, she's had a pattern of this, which is very scary. And so they said now police have charged her with 3 counts of murder and 5 of attempted murder, with some of the charges relating to earlier incidents. So I would assume of the 5, 1 attempted murder would be for Pastor Ian, who survived, right? I wonder how many incidents. Did they mention? I think they said 3, right? 3 other incidences. I wonder if, I was just thinking if out loud, if 2 of the 2 kids who were there, if that could also be an attempted murder charge or not. Sure. So then, police have charged her with that. Following the July 29th meal, 4 people became violently ill. Gail and Don Patterson, the parents of the accused ex-husband, both died in August while receiving treatment in hospital. Heather Wilkinson, Gail Patterson's sister, also died, while Heather's husband Ian Wilkinson survived after becoming critically unwell. Simon Patterson, Erin's former husband, I just showed you pictures of it earlier on the presentation there, and it's on the deep dive episode, had also been invited to dine at the meal but was unable to make it. He had some last minute changes of plans. So that must be really scary for him too, to think about. For Ian to survive this, oh my goodness, and then for this ex-husband to be like, you literally killed my parents and aunt. That's a lot. Wow. Police have previously said the victim's symptoms were consistent with those seen in patients who have consumed death cap mushrooms, an extremely toxic variety of mushroom thought to be responsible for the vast majority of mushroom-related deaths around the world. Authorities say that 3 of the attempted murder charges, there we go, so 3, against Erin Patterson concern separate incidents which took place between 2021 and 2022, in which an unidentified 48-year-old man, although ABC News has said they believe it's the ex-husband, also allegedly fell ill after other meals. After her arrest on Thursday, police officers and sniffer dogs searched Patterson's home. She was taken to a police station for questioning. Patterson maintained her innocence, and we're going to look at a clip or two of her after this, okay? And shortly after the death, told reporters she had been devastated by the loss of her relatives, but she also botched the names, you know, of who was still alive and who had died. It was quite a red flag, right? So Down Under Veggie Garden Diary says, no, Grizzly, the attempted murder charges are 3 previous attempts, yes, on the ex-husband. So they do know it's the ex-husband, right? Well, that's what's being reported in the media. 1 attempt on the day, even though he didn't turn up. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. At the last minute, and 1 for the pastor on the day. Thank you so much. That makes a lot of sense, actually, because he was, the ex-husband was invited to that meal. He just didn't make it there. That is scary. Okay, so she maintained her innocence, right, and told reporters that she had been devastated by the loss of her relatives. In a written statement, which we've gone through all of this, to police, reported by the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, she added, I really want to repeat that I had absolutely no reason to hurt these people whom I loved. Over the past 3 months, this investigation has been subjected to incredibly intense levels of public scrutiny and curiosity, said Victoria Police Detective Inspector Dean Thomas in a statement. I cannot think of another investigation that has generated this level of media and public interest, not only here in Victoria, but also nationally and internationally. It is always interesting which cases really take off and which don't. You know what I mean? Like once we're all looking at it now, then the whole world, we're looking at it like, what is going on here? So, because there's a lot of cases that happen worldwide all the time. So they must have been quite shocked that this little town was like, what? Everybody's looking at this case now. Sile Ryan, welcome to Grizzly supporter. Hope I said your name okay. So then they said in Patterson's statement, she also claimed the mushrooms used in the suspected fatal Wellington were a mixture purchased from a well-known supermarket chain and an Asian grocery store in Melbourne. She said that she too required hospital treatment after eating the dish, and that the kids who were not present for the meal, they ate some of the leftovers the following day. Right? They were. That's what I remember. She says her children don't like mushrooms, so she scraped them off before giving them part of the Wellington. Patterson also admitted in the letter to having lied to investigators about when she disposed of a food dehydrator. She initially told police she ditched the appliance a long time ago, when in reality she only took it to a dump after the alleged poisonings. So, okay, that is what we have there, and now I'm going to show you these clips quickly here.
Police say you're a suspect. Do you have anything to say about that?
Yes, I say I didn't do anything. I love them. And I'm devastated that they're gone. And I hope with every fibre of my being that Don pulls through.
Okay. With every fibre of your being that Don pulls through. Listen, Bill Gates, don't bother us now. Did you hear that? You guys, maybe you didn't hear the noise. Bill Gates is bothering me on my computer here. So... Pivotal says she's a true crime enthusiast. She apparently doesn't or didn't watch Grizzly True Crime. I believe I did read that somewhere. I think someone in the comments said that she considers herself an armchair detective. Oh dear.
Erin Patterson, the woman police say cooked a poisonous mushroom lunch, leaving 3 elderly family members dead and a 4th fighting for his life.
I'm devastated. I love them. And I can't believe that this has happened, and I'm so sorry.
Today, police confirming the 48-year-old mum is a suspect.
And she is because she cooked those meals for those people that were present. Now again, she hasn't presented with any symptoms, but we have to keep an open mind in relation to this, that it could be very innocent. But again, we just don't know at this point.
They were some of the best people I've ever met. They never did anything wrong to me, and I'm so devastated about what's happened.
She literally checks. Is there a tear? I don't know. It doesn't look like it. As I said earlier, the behavior panel did actually analyze this. I would recommend watching it. It's very interesting. They make a lot of good points.
I'm not aware of an investigation where we've had 3 people die as a result of apparent food poisoning, whether that be by mushroom or something else. So yes, it is rather unique.
I'm so devastated by what's happened, by the loss of Don. Don is still in hospital, the loss of Ian and Heather, and Gail.
No, she literally botched all the names. Ian survived. I'm sure he's got a lot to say now.
On Saturday, July 29, Erin made lunch for her ex-in-laws Don and Gail Patterson. Also at the table, Gail's sister Heather and her husband Ian, as well as Erin's 2 children who ate a different meal. By midnight Saturday, all 4 adults began feeling unwell. The 2 sisters, aged 66 and 70, died a week later on Friday. 70-year-old Don passed away Saturday night. Ian, a local Baptist pastor.
I'm just going to pause there. This is Ian who survived. Down Under Veggie Garden Diary says the pastor, that would be the guy on the screen now, gave an interview to the police. I can imagine. Ooh, he must have had an interesting account of the day. I mean, he would know how it went. I guess the kids will also know, but he would remember, and oh, shame. I can't imagine when he lost his wife and his relatives. It's horrible.
Pastor remains in hospital, clinging to life.
And I pray that he pulls through because my children love him.
Detective Inspector.
She's like, because my... Oh, man. So I'm not going to play this whole clip again. We've watched this entire clip before. I just want to play you a little bits of when she talks.
Tell you is that I just can't fathom what has happened. I just can't fathom what has happened.
Just can't fathom it. Wow.
That Ian and Heather have lost their lives, and Gail has lost her life, and Donna's still in hospital.
We must...
Actually, Ian survived. I'm just correcting her again. I'm like, come on.
correct the record for Erin. Pastor Ian is the one in hospital, and Don, her ex-father-in-law, has sadly passed. Police arrived here at Erin's home on Saturday. They searched the kitchen and took away a number of things. Erin was interviewed by detectives but released without charge as their investigation continues. Where did the mushrooms come from? Were they picked by you, or where did they come from, Erin? Can you tell us? Erin separated from her husband Simon, whose mum and dad are now dead. The shock incident rocking the tight-knit community of Leongatha.
Look at this cute little town. Leongatha, Victoria, Australia. Like 5,000 people-ish? Wow.
An hour and a half drive out of Melbourne. Just months ago, Victoria's Health Department warned against picking wild mushrooms, a practice increasingly popular across regional Victoria.
You would only need a small amount, half a capful or less, to cause fatal consequences.
Oh, he says half a capful or less. Not much of it, and she had apparently cooked a whole bunch, baked it into the beef Wellington. Carla said, do we know if the kids were in custody while this was under investigation? What is it with all these poisonings and women doing them? Eye drops, THC, THC antifreeze, and this, yeah. I don't know if Down Under Veggie Garden Diaries, do you know the answer to that? And you also said the pastor only survived because he was taken to a different hospital that specializes in poisonings. He didn't have a liver transplant, but some of the others did, but still died. Shame, some of the others did. Because I know that they said that if one were to ingest, sorry for pausing it here. Sorry about that. If one were to ingest these death cap mushrooms or poisonous mushrooms like this, it really affects your liver, of course, because it's trying to get rid of all the toxins. And so it can lead to one needing a liver transplant. So one of the locals here in chat, Down Under Veggie Garden, says some of the others did, but still died. Wow. Okay,
Police say...
sorry, now I've gone back there. Just go back to where we were. We're almost there.
Dr. Cameron Jones is a mycologist.
Well, the problem with poisoning with mushrooms is that often the effects aren't felt for a number of hours. So you're looking at liver and kidney toxicity, and this quickly moves towards a necrosis or a destruction of these organ systems.
A fateful final lunch leaving a small community on edge. What meal did you cook them?
And she just wouldn't answer. So, that is the update, everyone. That is what I have. The press conference was only 2.5 minutes long or so. Yeah, 2 minutes 39. So we've looked at some articles, we've looked at video clips, and the press conference recapped on the case. So I'm glad I could bring you this update, because I know at the time when I covered it, we weren't so sure, because they said it's going to be really difficult to prove that they died from death cap mushrooms and that she then put the mushrooms in the beef Wellington. But obviously they've been investigating their butts off for the last 3 months or more, just over 3 months, July, August, yeah, just over 3 months. And they have made an arrest. Can you believe it? It's kind of like a good news day, because it's the road towards justice based on everything we know, right? Okay. See, Chinny said, why? Yeah, is what I'd like to know. Yeah, what's the motive? What is the motive? I don't know. So I hope that you guys enjoyed that update. And this was our third video or stream for the day. I hope you'll check out the other two. I will see you again very soon, probably tomorrow or on Saturday at the latest. Happy Thursday to you. Or actually, if you're from Australia, it must be Friday for you already, right? Happy Friday to you. Down Under Veggie Garden Diary says, I'm not sure where the kids went. They might have gone to their father. That's true. They might have gone to their, you said fathers. Simon is Simon the dad of both of them, right? But they might have actually gone to their dads. Yeah, true. So I will keep you posted if there's anything else, if there's any like documents that we can see. I mean, not every country works like America, you guys. I don't know if you know. If you guys are American, do you know that, you know, other countries, like generally, let's say here in Europe, it's not, or South Africa, it's not easy to get like documents or body cams or trial footage or anything like that. So, but if there is something, and if you are local and you want to send me things or send me updates, please do that. grizzlytruecrime@gmail.com. CK, thank you so much. You said solid update as always, G. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I've really enjoyed my day with all of you. I never like, when you feel like don't go, I also feel like don't go. I don't want to go, but we got to go now because now we've looked at all the news. So thank you, mods. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all very soon. If you want to check out some videos and photos of our new Kitty, Fury's sister, Willow, that's all on Patreon. You can check it there. If you are a member, you can check the community tab because I did put some pictures on there for you. So do that and make sure you subscribed. If you're lurking, which means you just like to look, but you don't really want to chat, you can still subscribe and no one will know, okay? It will just help you to get notifications. If you subscribe, hit it again, say all, and then we'll see you in the next one. You can lurk with us again. You don't always have to search Grizzly True Crime and see what I'm up to. You can actually get a notification. So thank you so much, everyone. I will see you very soon again. Have a wonderful evening, a wonderful weekend ahead, and let's meet again very soon. Bye, everyone.